What if I told you that everything you know about bunkers is unnecessary and at worst just flat out wrong? Well, in this video I'm going to see what really matters and show you how to do it consistently so you're out of the bunker every time. There is only one thing that matters, but before I tell you what it is, I'm going to hit a bunch of shots in very different ways, hopefully exhibiting that very important thing, but to most importantly demonstrate that you do not have to follow the instruction book on this one. You've got a ton of freedom in here that you didn't know existed. I will go traditional first off. I'm going to go face open, ball forward, shaft low, all that stuff. Hit it hard. Man hit a pretty good shot. Let's do something a little bit different, stand a bit narrower, a bit tall, a bit closer. Let's stand feet together, really tall, square face. Well, that was nice. Let's go, legs crossed, face closed. That was actually quite hard. It's gone pretty good. Let's go really wide, ball back, square face. It's out, it's a little bit hot, but that got from pretty much orthodox, out your textbook, this is how you do it, to stupid, legs crossed. I've never hit a ball legs crossed from a bunker before, but it turned out all right, so maybe there's something in it. From now on, you should stand legs crossed, feet together, and just hit it with a square face all the time, or maybe not. Where is the magic then? What is that one important thing? Well, it is your divot. So a bunker shot is one of the only shots in golf where you deliberately do not hit the golf ball. There's argument to be had that the club never touches the ball at all. Is there still a cushion of sand between club and ball when the ball actually gets the energy and the information from the club? Maybe. High-speed photography will tell us the answer to that, but it's kind of irrelevant today. But it does lead us on to one thing that matters, and it is not what you've been told probably, which is where the club hits the sand. Like, you could hit the sand in the most perfect of places and hit the worst bunker shot of your life. It doesn't guarantee a single thing. What does guarantee is what you leave behind, the divot. So let's hit these three balls. We'll get the secondary camera in to come and take a look, and we'll talk through the kind of mess I've left on the ground. Two pretty similar shots. Let's go to the secondary camera and talk through these divots. So they both are. Back edge is very, very similar on both. Front edge also very, very similar. So where the club goes in, where it comes out is massively important, because that really is going to determine to a large degree the depth of divot, and that is the key. How deep is your divot? If it's relatively shallow, and we're talking like maybe half an inch, 3/4 inch at the most, an inch is a little bit too much, your ball could be placed pretty much anywhere from here, 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 and it's going to be absolutely fine. You could be three or four golf balls back from the actual golf ball you're trying to hit, and as long as your depth is under control, you'll still get the ball out without problem. Will it get to the hole? Possibly. Your spin rates will be different. As long as the ball speed and swing speed are somewhat similar, the ball will get to target. I'm just going to stop right here for a second and let you know that if you do like this kind of content and you want to dig deeper with more detail and maybe progress your game a little bit further, visit wedgematrix.com, where you can check out the academy. We have a free tier or a subscription tier with everything you could ever want to improve your short game. Let's look at how to build this up. Where do we begin? Well, hopefully on the practice ground, not the golf course, because I'm going to ask you to take some practice swings, which I know is a big no-no. You're not supposed to do it. But on the practice ground, there are no penalties. And how else are you going to learn to control the sand if you don't practice controlling the sand? Just not going to work. So practice swings, you can set up pretty much however you want. I don't really care at this point. You could be feet together, feet apart, feet wide, feet body low, all that stuff. Don't care right now, because we can adjust it, and we're going to adjust it based upon the kind of divot you make. If you make a perfect divot how you're standing, great, have at it, go for it. But if there's something wrong, we can adjust. So let's go into my comfortable position, which is pretty shoulder width, ball not far forwards the middle, and just make some practice swings and start to observe where the club touches the sand, how deep the divot is, so where it goes in, where it comes out, and depth. And once I've made one, I'm thinking, you know what, that's actually pretty good. I'm going to step into the ball, I'm going to put the ball somewhere in the middle of where that divot would be, and I'm going to create the same divot. My focus is not the ball anymore, it is just the divot that I'm leaving behind. Fractionally deeper, but you'll see from down the line the outcome was pretty good, 3 or 4 feet, but you can see length of it, very, very similar. There are certain things that are beyond my control, like the density of the sand, the moisture in the sand, how deep the sand is. It's all going to influence how quickly it comes out, but you've got to do your level best to try and make sure that your divot is not too deep. It starts in some kind of the right vicinity and it comes out in the right kind of spot. let's start with the first problem I see, and that is a divot that is too deep. What can we do to bring the levels up a little bit to reduce the depth? I'm not worried about entry right now, exit, direction of divot we'll start to mess around with, but let's start with depth. Easiest way for me to not go too deep is to probably not wiggle my feet into the sand like I was told. I want to stand on top of the sand, because all I'm doing here by wiggling and getting lower and lower, I'm lowering my low point. So get rid of that. You don't need to do it unless you want to test the sand, which is a rule break. Stand on top of the sand, don't get lower, stand a bit taller, get your chest up away from the sand. Start to feel like it's actually quite difficult to reach the sand at all. If I stand up too tall and too far away, I'll miss the sand altogether. If I just lower it down a touch, I'll start to clip the very top of the sand. So let's get nice and tall, stay on top of the sand, no wiggle. Tall as I can, this should be quite a light divot, ball might go too far. Ball definitely did go too far. You see, divot was shorter and it started maybe a little bit too close to the golf ball. All right, but you kind of get the idea. What about direction of divot? Now don't forget, traditional bunker shots have you aiming way left and creating a divot that is deep and to the left. What happens if I move my divot around, make it straighter? What happens if I move it to the right? Well, let's check it out. I'm gonna go ball middle. I'm gonna aim my feet to the right. I'm gonna make an in to out divot. I'm gonna practice as well because I'm allowed to. And you'll start to notice quite quickly, the divots are quite shallow. They don't get deep. They might start a little bit further back, but we're going to go exaggerated here, really into out. See what happens with the divot. Face is not open at all. It's going to be close to path. Ball came out really easily. Divot is pointing 10 feet to the right, and it came out really easy. As predicted, I did hit the sand a little bit further back, but because it wasn't deep, it wasn't a problem. If I hit that far back with the divot that's pointing that way, I'm in all kinds of trouble. So what's ideal? A straight divot, probably. But if your divots tend to be a bit too far left, or when they're straight and too deep, you can shift them to the right. It's allowed. So we'll go straight divot this time. I'm going to go ball middle, going to get a bit of height. Let's start to build this picture up better. Divot straight at target. Pretty much perfect, just caught the downslope. Again, starting comfortably behind the ball, not too deep, not too long, it's spot on. This is all that matters. Everything else is fluff. Right, your control of the sand is your control over the golf ball. Let's preempt the comments a little bit that are going to be down below. If you've left one, if you haven't, leave one anyway. What about the upslope, James? Well, you do the same thing. You just set yourself with the hill. Like if you were to stand normally here, your divot would be very long, very deep, like triple the length, incredibly deep. That's no good. So same divot, up the hill, try and get the club to work up the slope and leave the same mess in the sand. Might be the best one yet. As we look at the divot, it is exactly the same length, it is the same depth. What about no sand? Let's drag it out, get rid of it, get this nice and compact. There you go, you can hear that. There we go, a bit of firmness. What changes now? Well, nothing really. It's very difficult to get too deep here. The one thing you might get is too far back, or we might hit it too hard because the ball speed will ramp up. So I'm probably going to go same depth intent and hit it just a bit closer to the ball. Easiest way to do that, put the ball back a bit. So we're going to go ball just back in middle, same divot, lower speed. Again, a bit of a right bounce, but again, no issues you'll see if we look at the divot. Same length, less depth because it's firm under there. But my intent is identical every single time. So I've told you all of this stuff to throw out a lot of what you've done already and just focus on this one thing. Where does the traditional stuff come from? Well, it comes from a very particular shot that players on tour might need more often than you, being a regular golfer, do. And that's hit it really high, really short and really soft. If I want to do that, I'm going to want to slow the ball down. So I'm going to open the face a massive amount. I'm going to swing to the left. My divot's going to get deeper because I'm swinging left. And we add those things together, ball comes out high, soft and short. So there is a place for it, but it probably isn't your stock bunker shot. So we're going face wide open, like I could sit a glass of water on it, big out to in swing, hit quite close to it, which you have to do because the divot's going to be deep. Otherwise it goes nowhere, and get some height. High, short, soft, but look at the size of this thing. I hit that hard and there's quite a lot of sand there, it just didn't go anywhere. that for me to actually execute well and get that to hole, I'd have had to hit so close to the golf ball that the risk is just not worth the reward. If I hit a little bit too far back and I'm that deep, the ball wouldn't have come out at all, and that would have been embarrassing. But thankfully, it came out perfect for a little short-sided flag. No good for when I was going to before. So what really matters is your depth of divot, where it starts, where it ends, which if you can control those two things, your depth is going to be under control, and the divot pushes the ball from the sand. The ball is not the focus. What you create down here is.